Hi everyone, so I hope you're having a great day today because for today we are going to talk about annuity. So first, let me define what is annuity. So when we say annuity, it is a series of equal payments made at equal interval of time. So kapag sinabi nating series of equal payments, so dapat yung sunod-sunod na pagbabayad ng equal amount of money. And of course, it is also very important um, to take a look at the word equal interval of time. So halimbawa, when you get a phone or a television or any appliances na ang payment niya is through installment, so that is a good example for annuity. Let's say napagkasunduan nyo na every month, so that is equal interval of time because you have every month or every year, you are going to pay 500 pesos. So, alin yung annuity doon sa binigay nating example? Si 500 pesos is your annuity because that is the equal amount of money you are paying every month or every year. So sa annuity then, we are solving for the future worth and the present worth of your money. So don't worry, we have formulas that you can memorize in order to solve those kind of problem. Okay? So let me present to you the formulas that we have and also the definition. So, medyo marami tayong formula kapag dating sa annuity. So, we have, first one is F is equal to A times 1 plus I raised to N minus 1 all over I. Then, we have P is equal to A times 1 plus I raised to N minus 1 all over I times 1 plus I raised to N. So, etong mga formula na to, kapareho lang din nung dati. F still stand for the future worth of your money. P is the present worth. Then, yung I, dun muna tayo kay I kasi dati ginagagamit na natin si I. I is still your interest rate of the money. N is the number of interest period. And as you can see sa formula natin, yung A lang yung medyo bago. Tama? Because as we are studying annuity, so A stands for annuity. Okay? So, dun sa example natin kanina, si 500 pesos. Then, we also have the formula for P, which is A over I. This one is used naman if you have a perpetuity problem. What is perpetuity? So, later on, we are going to discuss what perpetuity is. Let's move on to these two other formulas for future and present. We have F is equal to A times E raised to R, and that is positive, okay? Minus 1 all over E raised to R minus 1. Then for P, we have A times E raised to R minus 1 all over 1 minus E raised to negative Rn. So that is negative. These two last formulas are used naman when you have continuous compounding. So now the question is, how can you say that the problem given to you is a continuous compounding or not? So kapag halimbawa you are given, let's say the money you borrowed from the bank or from a friend has an interest rate of 10% compounded continuously. So when you see the word compounded continuously, so that is continuous compounding. You are now going to use these two formulas which has a mathematical expression E. Okay? But first, of course, you need to analyze if the problem you have is an annuity or compound interest. Kasi syempre, in compound interest, you also have the continuous compounding interest rate. So syempre, you can see the difference naman between the two. Because when we say compound interest, that is, you're having a single payment. While for annuity, you're having a series of equal payment. Okay? But then, if the interest rate that is given to you is just 10%, compounded monthly, compounded semi-annually, so etong dalawang naunang formula, ito yung gagamitin ninyo. Okay? Itong walang mathematical expression na E. Maliwanag? So, before we jump into our examples, let us first discuss muna yung mga common types of annuities. We have 4. So, let me put it first. So, the first type of annuity that we have is the ordinary annuity. Ordinary annuity is one where equal payments are made at the end of each payment period starting from the first period. So the keyword here is at the end of each payment period. As you can see in the cash flow given to us, yung first payment niya is nangyayari sa year 1. Okay? That is ordinary annuity. And kung mapapansin nyo rin, lahat ito, I'm not sure if it's readable, lahat ito is letter A, indicating na magkakapareho silang lahat ng value. So, magkakapantay din yung arrow na meron tayo. Okay? So, aside from ordinary annuity, we have the deferred annuity. Deferred annuity naman is also an ordinary annuity. But, the only difference is that the first payment or the first amount is deferred a certain number of period after the first. So, kumbaga, na-delay ng ilang months or ilang years bago ka ulit makapaghulog. So, as you can see here, saan nagsimula yung first payment? Nagsimula siya sa year 5. So, kapag deferred annuity, it is not necessary na laging sa year 5 siya mag-start. Pinapakita lang dito sa cash flow natin na na-delay yung first payment niya. Okay? So, if we have an annuity wherein the first payment is made at the end, how about if the first payment is made at the beginning or at the start of each period? What do you call that? We call it as annuity due. Okay? So, annuity due is one where payments are made at the start of each period. So, let us take a look at the cash flow for annuity due. As you can see here, comparing it to ordinary annuity, the first payment na nangyayari sa annuity due is sa year 0. Okay? So, that is the difference between the two type of annuity, the ordinary and annuity due. So, kay ordinary annuity, again, the first payment will begin or will occur at year 1. While for annuity due, at year 0. So, now moving on to perpetuity. This is the one that we have a special formula. Yung P is equal to A over I. So, perpetuity is one where the payment period extends forever. So, if there is forever, we call it as perpetuity. Or, in which the periodic payments continue indefinitely. So, when we say indefinitely, you cannot count it na hindi mo na siya mabilang kung hanggang kailan ba siya magbabayad, kung hanggang kailan ba siya maghuhulog. So, we can say na up to infinity. Diba? Infinity is somewhat we relate to forever. So, that is perpetuity. Okay? So, those are the common type of annuities that we have. So, now, since we already discussed the 4 types, let's jump into our first example. So, our first example is that a steam boiler is purchased on the basis of guaranteed performance. However, initial tests indicate that the operating cost will be 400 more per year than guaranteed. If the expected life is 25 years and the money is worth 10%, what deduction from the purchase price would compensate the buyer for the additional operating cost? So, first thing, of course, you need to analyze yung inyong problem. Ano ba yung sinasabi ng problem nyo? For example, this one, you have a steam boiler na bibilhin daw. Yung steam boiler na bibilhin mo, base sa initial test, you are going to have 400 pesos na extra gastos every year. That is for the operating cost. Okay? Ngayon, syempre, kung gagastos ka ng 400 pesos, humingi ngayon si buyer ng discount or ng deduction doon sa nagtitinda. Kasi sabi niya, baka naman po pwedeng bawasan niyo yung presyo. Kasi gagastos po ako 400 every year. So, pumayag naman si seller kasi syempre to compensate the buyer doon sa 400 na gagastusin niya. So, that is actually the question. Magkano daw yung pwedeng i-deduct from the purchase price? When we say purchase price, it is the price kung saan bibilhin mo siya. Kumbaga yung tag price, that is purchase price. So kung yun pala yung presyo kapag bibilhin mo siya, so we can say that purchase price is the present worth of the money. We are looking for the present amount nung pera na meron tayo. So if we are looking for the present worth, ang gagamitin natin, syempre, formula is yung P is equal to A. But then, we have different formulas for P. Alin ba ang gagamitin natin? Yung mayroong mathematical expression na E o yung wala? So, ano ba yung interest rate na binigay? We are given 10%. So, yung 10% na yon, wala naman sinabi na compounded continuously. Tama? So, kung wala siyang nabanggit na compounded continuously, then, yung walang mathematical expression ang gagamitin natin. So, we have A times 1 plus I raised to N minus 1 all over I times 1 plus I raised to N again. So, that is positive N. So, ito yung gagamitin nating formula. So, ngayon, syempre, lalagyan na natin ng value yung formula na meron tayo base doon sa problem na binigay sa atin. So, we have yung interest rate muna kasi sanay tayo doon. Alam na natin what interest rate is. So, ang sabi dito, 10%. But then, di ba, ang sabi ko, if you are going to put it in a solution, you are going to convert it into decimal form. So, we have 10% is equal to 0.10. So, lahat ng interest, kailangan mong palitan ng 0.10. Okay? So, dapat walang may iwan na interest. Now, yung N naman tayo. Gaano ba tatagal yung steam boiler mo? Kasi all throughout the life of the steam boiler, you are going to have 400 pesos. Okay? So, gaano ba ang katagal? Sabi sa problem, we are expecting na yung steam boiler is tatagal ng 25 years. Meaning, sa loob ng 25 years, every year, gagastos ka ng 400. So, si N, palitan natin ng 25. Then, yung A, base sa definition niya, is the series of equal payment. Alin ba yung equal amount na binibayad mo or ginagastos mo every year? You have 400. So, si A, palitan natin ng 400. And this will give us a value of 3,630.816 pesos. So, this 3,630 is actually the present amount of the 400 pesos. So, kapag kinompress mo or kinompute mo yung magagastos mo na 400 sa loob ng 25 years, that is equal to 3,000. So, kung ito yung equivalent niya at present, so ito yung ibabawas mo doon sa purchase price. Okay? So, kung halimbawa, bibenta ko yung steam boiler ng 10,000, so babawasan ko siya ng 3,600. Then, yung matitira, yun na lang ang presyo kapag binili mo siya. In order, of course, to compensate yung bibili. Okay? Malinaw? So, moving on, let's have example number 2. So, for example number 2, a 1-bagger concrete mixer can be purchased with a down payment of 8,000 pesos and equal installment of 600, each paid at the end of every month for the next 12 months. If money is worth 12% compounded monthly, determine the equivalent cash price of the mixer. So here, we are provided a cash flow kung ano ba yung nangyayari doon sa problem natin. So sabi, you want to buy daw a concrete mixer. Then, syempre, kung bibilhin mo siya, pwede mo siyang bayaran through installment. Pero of course, magbibigay ka muna ng 8,000 for the down payment. So si 8,000, since down payment siya, ilalagay natin siya sa year 0. Okay? Then, yung equal installment, you have here equal installment of 600, each paid at the end of every month. So, this is annuity, tama? Kasi, you are paying 600 ng 600 kada buwan. So, you have here the 600 pesos. Kita nyo naman sa cash flow that it is a series of equal payment. So, 600 again is our annuity. So, gaano ba katagal daw ikaw magbabayad ng 600 pesos? You are going to pay it for the next 12 months. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So, you have 12 na 600 pesos. The question is, we need to determine the equivalent cash price. So, yung cash price, ngayon, sabi mo, ay ayoko po ng installment kasi hassle, magpapabalik-balik pa ako. So, babayaran ko na lang po siya ng cash ngayon. Magkano po kayang ibabayad ko? So, kung cash price, babayaran mo ng cash, that is still present worth. We are going to solve for the present worth of the money. Okay? So, copyahin ko itong nasa taas kasi present din naman yung isosolve natin. And we have 12% compounded monthly. So, ang sabi niya naman is compounded monthly, hindi compounded continuously. So, it is safe na gamitin natin itong formula na to. Okay? So, lagyan ulit natin siya ng mga data. Pero bago yon, isasama ko na dito sa formula natin yung 8,000. Kasi di ba, itong 600, dadalhin mo silang lahat kay year 0. Iko-compress mo sila into one value papunta kay year 0. Then, yung sa year 0, we have the 8,000 there, yung down payment sana. So, syempre, para makuha mo yung total amount ng present mo or ng P dito sa cash flow, isasama mo si 8,000. I-add mo syempre siya. Okay? So, i-add natin. We have 8,000 plus the annuity. So, si 8,000, hindi mo na siya mamultiplyan nitong nasa parentheses. Bakit? Kasi si 8,000, hindi naman siya series of equal payment. Isang beses ka lang naman nagbayad ng 8,000 pesos. So, wala na siyang ita-times na nasa parentheses. 8,000 na lang siya. Okay? So, palitan na natin to. Sabi natin kanina, 600 is your annuity. Then, ilan ang interest rate mo? You have 12%. Naka-decimal dapat, so you have 0.12. But, take note of this, you have compounded monthly. When we say compounded monthly, you are going to divide your interest rate by 12. Bakit? Kasi, yung 12% kasi, this is actually the interest rate for the whole year. Eh, sabi compounded monthly. So, you need to determine magkano ba talaga sa 12% yung nagiging interest niya kada buwan. Eh, ilang months ba meron sa isang taon? We have 12 months. That's why we divide your interest rate by 12. So, later on, we are going to discuss yung mga compounded bi-monthly, compounded quarterly. So, tapusin muna natin yung solution natin. So, we have 0.12 divided by 12 also. 0.12 divided by 12. Then, next na, yung last na lang is yung n. Ilang beses ka ba magbabayad ng 600 pesos? Ilang beses daw? You have 12. Tama? Diba? Binilang natin kanina 12 lahat yung 600. So, itong n, palitan natin ng 12. And let's compute kung ilan ang value niya or kung magkano kung babayaran mo siya ng cash. Magkano kaya? We have P is equal to 14,753.046 pesos. So, lahat pala yun, yung mga installment ng 600 for 12 months, then yung 8,000 na down payment, kung gusto mo siyang bayaran ng cash, ang ibibigay mo ay 14,753 pesos. Okay? So, this is the solution for example number 2. So, ngayon, let's talk about naman yung sinasabi ko sa inyo kanina na what if you are given interest rate that is compounded by monthly or quarterly. So, isulat natin dito so you will have notes for that. When we have compounded monthly. So, katulad nung ginawa natin kanina, kapag compounded monthly, you divide your interest rate by 12. So, divide by 12 kasi you have 12 months in a year. Okay? Then, what if you are given naman compounded by monthly? So, kapag sinabi natin by monthly, every 2 months. Every 2 months ka magbabayad. So, kung every 2 months, ilang 2 months ba meron ka sa isang taon? 12 divided by 2 is 6. So, you divide your interest rate, sorry, this should be I. You divide your interest rate by 6, okay? How about if you are given compounded quarterly? So, itong quarterly, medyo hindi na siya bago. We are aware, kapag sinabing quarter, you are dividing it by 4. Tama? So, kung you are dividing your interest rate by 4, kailan ka nagbabayad? Every 3 months. Kasi 'di ba, ilang 3 months ba meron sa isang taon? You have 4. 12 divided by 3 is 4. How about if you are given compounded semi-annually? Kapag semi, like semicircle, you are dividing it by 2 or by half. So, si interest, i-divide mo lang siya by 2. Okay? So, kailan ka nagbabayad if you are dividing your interest by 2? Every 6 months. How about compounded annually? So, kapag compounded annually, i-divide mo ba yung interest rate? Hindi na, or divide by 1. Pero di ba, pag divided by 1, hindi na natin siya nilalagay. So, we have the interest rate na given sa atin. But, again, there's a but. Kasi, you need to analyze the problem. Babalik na naman tayo sa analysis of the problem. Baka kasi, divide ka lang ng divide ng interest rate, but the interest that is actually given to you dun sa problem is naka-per month na kunwari. So, halimbawa, ang sabi niya, 12% per month. So, kapag ganun, ang sinabi niya is naka-per month na, hindi mo na siya i-divide by 12. Okay? So, babasahin para na mabuti yung problem. Pero usually, hindi palagi. Usually, naka-year yung binigay sa ating interest rate. Okay? So, moving on to our third example, we have if 500 pesos is deposited in an account at the beginning of each year for 6 years at an annual interest rate of 7%, how much can be withdrawn after 6 years? So, ngayon, anong napansin sa problem? We are going to deposit daw sa bangko ng 500. Kailan tayo nagde-deposit? At the beginning of each year. 'Diba? Kapag at the beginning, we call it as annuity due. Ano nga ang itsura ng cash flow kapag annuity due? So, tingnan natin sa taas. Kapag annuity due, the first payment ay nangyayari sa year 0. Okay? So, ganun dapat yung maging cash flow natin for this number. And our cash flow is this. Ayan. So, yung 500 natin, nangyari sa year 0. So, ilang beses ka daw magbabayad ng 500 pesos? You are going to pay it for 6 years. Ibig sabihin, 6 na beses. Bilangin natin sila kung 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You have 6 na 500 pesos. So, ngayon, the question is, magkano daw yung mawi-withdraw mo at year 6? So, ang isa-solve natin is yung F sub T, yung total na future worth. Okay? Pero bago natin syempre ma-solve yun, we are going to solve muna yung F sub 1 natin. Okay? Using, of course, si annuity. Kasi diba, yung 500, it form a series of equal payments. So, binabayad mo naman siya every year. So, you have equal interval of time. So, isolve natin. If we are now solving for future, ano na ang formula natin? We have future worth is equal to annuity times 1 plus I. Ano na nangyari? Wait lang. We have 1 plus I raised to n minus 1 all over, so silang lahat, i-divide mo by I. Okay? So, this is our formula. So, ngayon lagyan lang natin ang mga datas. Kita naman natin sa cash flow na yung annuity natin o yung equal amount na dinedeposit natin is magkano? 500. So, palitan natin siya ng 500. Then, magkano yung interest rate? 7%. So, we have here 0.07. Also, the interest here is 0.07. Then, yung N natin, ilang beses ka daw magde-deposit ng 500 pesos? You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. 6 times. So, si N, papalitan mo ng 6. Therefore, ilan na ang ating F? Ilan na kaya yung equivalent amount nung lahat ng 500 pesos na ihuhulog natin sa loob ng 6 years? That is equal to, F is equal to 3,576.645 pesos. So, lagyan natin ng subscript para hindi kayo malito. So, we have here F1. Also, dito sa sagot natin. So, ngayon, yung 3,576, hindi pa yun yung final answer natin. Kasi diba, we are looking for kung magkano yung mawi-withdraw sa year 6, yung F sub T. So, dito, hindi mo na i-consider si 500, tapos na siya. Okay? Ang i-consider mo na lang is itong part na to. Itong 5 and 6. So, itong 500, wala na yan. Ang titingnan mo na lang is si F1 at si FT. Okay? So, kung si F1 and si FT na lang, yung mga values na meron ka, hindi na sila annuity. Single payment na sila. Kapag ganun, ano nang gagamitin nating formula? Yung formula na para sa compound interest. Ano ang formula para sa compound interest? We have F is equal to P times 1 plus I raised to positive N. Wala tayong letter P, tama? Pero meron tayong F1. Diba? Ito na lang ang i-consider natin. So, your F1, iti-take natin siya as the present value kasi papunta naman siya dito sa future. So, ito yung present niya. Ito yung nasa unahan. So, ito yung present. Lagyan natin tong subscript. We have FT. Yung P is kung magkano yung ating F1. So, lagyan ko ito ng P. Iti-take din natin siya as P. P is also equal to F1. So, kopyahin natin, 3,576.645. Ilan yung interest rate? So, hindi nagbago yung interest. We have 7%, that is 0.07. So, yung I. So, sa I, kanina, we have 6. For N pala. For N, kanina, we have 6. How about ngayon kaya? If we are just going to consider etong part na ito, itong nasa dulong part, yung F1 at FT, ilan na lang yung N natin? Ilang years ba yung tatakbuhin ni F1 bago siya makapunta kay FT? Nasa year 5 siya ngayon, papunta sa year 6. Ilang years kaya yon? We have isang taon lang. Isang taon lang yung tatakbuhin niya papunta sa FT. So, yung N mo dito sa compound is 1. Then, you will have, magkano kaya ang mawi-withdraw mo? F sub T is equal to 3,827.01 pesos. So, ito na yung answer natin. Ito na yung amount na mawi-withdraw mo sa year 6. Okay? So, this is the final answer for example number 3. So, kung hindi nyo pa napapanood yung video sa compound interest, panoorin nyo na siya so that you can see kung bakit ganito yung naging formula natin. So, pwede pala siyang i-mix and match yung mga formulas. Pwedeng gamitin mo si compound dito kay annuity. Okay? Pwede silang magkasama. Pwedeng sa isang problem, dalawang formula yung gagamitin mo. So, moving on, we have example number 4. A person buys a piece of property for 100,000 pesos down payment. And we have a 10 deferred semi-annual payments of 8,000 pesos each starting 3 years from now. What is the present value of the investment if the rate of interest is 12% compounded semi-annually? So, kanina na-discuss natin kung anong gagawin kapag compounded semi-annually. So, I have provided here the cash flow for this example. So, ganito yung mangyayari sa kanya. Ganito yung sinasabi sa problem. But, example number 4 will be your problem. What do you mean by your problem? You are going to solve example number 4. And next meeting, we are going to answer it. Okay? So, this is your assignment. So, if this is your assignment, again, this concludes our discussion about annuity. But before we end, let me remind you first na sa annuity, we are not always given a cash flow. Normally, problem lang talaga yung binibigay sa atin and ikaw na yung bahalang mag-visualize kung ano ba yung sinasabi sa problem. Saan mo ba ilalagay si 8,000? Saan ba dapat nakalagay si 100? Ano ba yung role nila dun sa problem? Okay? So, wag masasanay that you always have the cash flow. Pero wag kayo mag-alala. Nasosolusyonan naman yon by trying to solve more and more and more problems. So, practice pa rin ang solusyon. Okay? So, again, that's it and thank you.